Close your eyes for just a moment. Listen to the world around you. Perhaps you hear the hum of traffic, the distant wail of a siren, or the relentless buzz of electricity that defines the modern city. Now, imagine peeling it all away. Imagine the steel and glass canyons of Manhattan dissolving into the air. The skyscrapers that block out the sun retract into the earth. The roar of the subway beneath your feet falls silent. The asphalt turns to cobblestone and then to packed dirt. The air clears, changing from the scent of exhaust and hot pavement to the sharp, salty tang of the Atlantic Ocean, mixed with wood smoke and wet earth. Open your eyes. It is the year 1800. We are standing at the very tip of Manhattan. But this is not the New York City you know. There is no Empire State Building looming in the distance. There is no Brooklyn Bridge spanning the East River. In fact, if you look north from here, the city itself effectively ends just a mile away. Beyond that, rolling hills, farms, and forests. Welcome to the dawn of the American metropolis. This is a tour of a lost world, a reconstruction of the moment just before New York exploded into the giant we recognize today. Let's begin our walk here, at the Battery. Today, this is a manicured park where tourists buy tickets for the Statue of Liberty. But in 1800, the statue is still 86 years away from being dedicated. Looking out across the harbor, the view is vast and open. The water is teeming, not with diesel ferries and barges, but with white sails. Look at the density of them. It looks like a forest of stripped pine trees bobbing on the water. These ships are the lifeblood of the city. New York in 1800 is a maritime creature. It is a city of sailors, merchants, dockworkers, and dreamers. The population is only about 60,000 people. That might sound small, but at this moment, the city is bursting at the seams, having doubled in size in just 10 years. You can feel that energy here on the docks. Listen to the creaking of the timber halls, the shouting of the stevedores unloading crates of tea from China, porcelain from England, and sugar from the Caribbean. Let's turn our backs to the harbor and walk north into the city proper. The first thing you notice is the light. Without tall buildings to cast long shadows, the sun floods the streets. The sky feels enormous. The buildings here are modest, 2 or 3 stories high, made of red brick and Dutch wood. They lean in toward the street, intimate and human scale. We are walking up a narrow cobblestone path. This is Broadway. It is the spine of the city, just as it is today. But look at the texture of the ground. It's uneven. When it rains, this street turns into a soup of mud and manure. Notice the pigs roaming freely near the gutter. They are the city's unofficial sanitation department, eating the garbage thrown onto the street. It's a gritty reality, but look up, above the mud. The architecture has a colonial elegance, dormer windows, slate roofs, and chimneys pumping gray smoke into the blue sky. Ahead of us, looming over the low skyline, is the most dominant structure in all of New York, Trinity Church. Pause here for a moment. In the modern world, Trinity is swallowed by the financial district, but in 1800, its spire is the highest point on the island. It is the lighthouse for the faithful and the landmark for every ship captain navigating the harbor. As we approach, you can hear the bells tolling. They regulate the life of the city. There are no smartphones to check the time, no digital displays. You live by the sun and the bells of Trinity. The graveyard beside the church is already old, filled with the weathered stones of the early settlers. Alexander Hamilton walks these streets. He is a familiar face here. In just 4 years, he will be buried in this very churchyard after his duel with Aaron Burr. But today, the city is still alive with the revolutionary spirit he helped forge. Let's turn right, heading east toward the river. We are entering the engine room of the American economy. This is Wall Street. It feels different than the concrete canyon of today, doesn't it? It is bustling, loud, and chaotic. Men in waistcoats and breeches are gathering on the corners, shouting prices, trading slips of paper. There is no New York Stock Exchange building yet, at least not the one with the columns, you know. Instead, look for a large buttonwood tree. Tradition says that just a few years ago, 24 stockbrokers signed an agreement under that tree to trade securities. Right here, on the corner of Wall and Water Street, stands the Tontine Coffee House. Let's step closer. You can hear the roar of conversations spilling out of the windows. This isn't just a cafe, it is the center of the business world. Inside, merchants are reading newspapers from London and Paris, tracking the wars in Europe, and betting on shipping insurance. The air smells of roasted coffee beans, pipe tobacco, and damp wool. This is where the modern global economy is being born. Amidst shouting matches and handshakes, keep moving. As we walk further down Wall Street, notice the building at the intersection of Nassau Street. That is Federal Hall. Only 11 years ago, George Washington stood on that balcony and took the oath of office as the first president of the United States. New York was the capital then. Though the capital has moved, the pride remains. The building is majestic, a symbol of the new republic's ambition.
Let's drift away from the center now, moving through the winding side streets. This is where the time travel feeling truly sets in. Without the grid system, which won't be laid out for another decade, the streets are a tangle. They follow the old cow paths and property lines of the Dutch settlers. Look at the people passing us. It's a diverse crowd. You see wealthy merchants in silk, but you also see free black men and women. Slavery is slowly being dismantled in New York during these years, though it is not yet gone. You see Dutch matriarchs, sailors from Portugal, traders from the Mohawk Valley. You hear a dozen languages spoken in the span of a single block: English, Dutch, French, German, and indigenous dialects. We are approaching the East Riverside now. The smell here is stronger: tar, fish, and brine. This is the South Street Seaport in its infancy. Look across the water. That green shoreline over there, that's Brooklyn. It looks like a completely different country. Just a scattering of farmhouses and a ferry landing. To get there, you have to wait for a rowboat or a sailing scow. The idea of a bridge spanning this distance is pure science fiction to the people walking around us. Let's loop back toward the center of the island and head north. We need to see the edge of the city as we cross past where City Hall stands today, which is currently just a plan on a piece of paper. The city begins to thin out. The brick buildings give way to wooden frames. The cobblestones end, replaced by packed earth that kicks up dust in the summer wind. We are arriving at a place that no longer exists in the modern world: the Collect Pond. In the modern city, this is roughly where the courthouses in Chinatown stand. But in 1800, it is a massive freshwater lake covering nearly 50 acres. It is the primary source of water for the city. Pause here by the water's edge. It is surprisingly peaceful. You can see small hills rising on the other side. People are picnicking on the grass. In the winter, this pond freezes over and the entire city comes out to skate. But look closely at the south shore of the pond. You can see the encroaching industry. Tanneries and slaughterhouses are setting up shop, dumping their waste into the water. In a few years, this beautiful pond will become a toxic swamp, and eventually the city will fill it in completely, burying it beneath the streets. It is a ghost landscape, a major geographical feature that was erased from the map. Just north of the pond, the true countryside begins. This is the area we now call Soho and Greenwich Village. Today, these are dense neighborhoods of cast iron lofts and boutiques. In 1800, they are country estates and farmland. If you were to walk up to where Houston Street is today, you would be walking through apple orchards and fields of wheat. Wealthy New Yorkers have summer homes here to escape the heat and disease of the crowded city tip. It feels incredibly distant, a long carriage ride away from the hustle of Wall Street. Let's turn back south, returning to the density of the town as the sun begins to set. Evening changes everything in 1800. As the sun dips below the Jersey horizon, the city does not light up with neon and LEDs. It goes dark, really dark. Watch as the lamps are lit. Not electric streetlights, but oil lamps, casting a dim, flickering yellow glow. The windows of the houses become squares of warm candlelight. The transition is beautiful but also menacing. There is no police force as we know it, just a night watch. The shadows are deep. The city feels smaller now, huddled against the cold and the dark. Listen to the sounds of the evening. The aggressive commerce of the day has faded, replaced by the sounds of fiddles from the taverns and the distant barking of dogs. You can hear the wind rushing through the rigging of the ships in the harbor, a ghostly whistling sound that never stops. It is easy to romanticize this time. The golden hour light on the brickwork makes it look like a painting. But standing here in the mud, watching the smoke rise from the chimneys, you realize the hardship of this life. There is no running water. Disease is a constant specter. Yellow fever epidemics sweep through these streets every few years, emptying the city. It is a hard, fragile existence. And yet, there is an undeniable optimism in the air. Can you feel it? The people walking these streets know they are at the start of something. They are building a new kind of civilization. They are digging, hammering, trading, and expanding. They look at the countryside to the north and see the future. They don't see the skyscrapers we know. They see infinite possibility. As we stand here, looking down Broadway one last time, try to hold both images in your mind: the towering canyon of the present day, and this low brick and wood town of the past. It is strange to miss a time you never lived in, to feel nostalgia for the smell of wood smoke and the sound of carriage wheels. But that is the power of seeing the city this way. It reminds us that our concrete permanence is an illusion. The city is a living thing, constantly growing, shedding its skin, burying its pond, and building over its path. The New York of 1800 is gone. The buttonwood tree is gone. The Collect Pond is gone. The silence of the harbor is gone. But the DNA of the city, the ambition, the rush, the collision of culture, it was all right here, in these muddy streets, waiting to explode. Take one last look at the stars above the harbor, shining brighter than they ever will again over this island. The tour is ending. The noise of the modern world is waiting to rush back in. But now, when you walk down Wall Street or stand at the Battery, you will know what lies beneath the pavement. You will know the ghost that walked beside you. Welcome back to the present.